You're tuned in to Radio Caravan. Join the Radio Caravan, and every Wednesday, as you know it, from now till about 6 o'clock, we do have Miss Pallavi Ahluwalia of the Ahluwalia Law Offices joining us, answering your immigration questions. And today is no different. If you do have any questions related to immigration, you may call the studio line here, 214-817-3333. That is 214-817-3333 for all your immigration questions right now, from now till 6 p.m. Go ahead and give us a call. That is 214-817-3333 for your immigration questions. And without further ado, let's go ahead and bring Pallavi on air with us right now. Good evening. How are you?
I am doing wonderfully well. How are you? I'm so glad to be back.
Absolutely.
After a hiatus from the radio. And hopefully this will get everyone's questions answered today. And I'm glad to be here to do that.
Absolutely, and we are opening the lines up for our listeners here who have immigration questions right now. The number to the studio here is 214-817-3333. That is 214-817-3333. Give us a call if you do have an immigration question for Pallavi. She comes on air every Wednesday to answer your immigration questions. So make sure you definitely take advantage of that and give us a call here, 214-817-3333 for your immigration questions. If you want to schedule yourself an appointment at the office, you can always call the office number, which is 972-361-0606. That's 972-361-0606. Or you can log on to ahluwalialaw.com or yourdesilawyer.com and get more information. But right now we are opening the lines up for all of your immigration questions. 214-817-3333. I do see that the blog section of the page, Pallavi, has been updated, and you've been churning out a lot of news from the immigration world on this page for our listeners to view and read. Anything that's really pressing right now? I do see that the TPS for Nepal ends pretty soon here, if you would like to talk about that.
Surely. The Nepal TPS is supposed to end on it's ending on June 24th, right? And we are hoping that it does get extended, but literally there is a wait and watch here on these couple of months that we have for the government to make this announcement and see what happens. Now, people have been not wanting to move from their status, hoping that even if other countries are getting not so good treatment and getting TPS removed, that Nepal somehow will be excused. And I've been telling, whenever we talk to our clients, that please don't assume this, because while you have your options, just make sure that you move on safely to another status while you're still here on the protected status.
Absolutely. We do have a caller here, Pallavi. Let's go ahead and take our first caller here. Radio Caravan, you're on the air. What is your question, please?
Hey, my question is that I'm a citizen, but my mom is a green card holder since last year. So I wanted to check is it safe for her to visit India right now, according to the current situations?
So you said she's a green card holder and she lives here, right?
Yeah, she lives with me. But
does she file her taxes? Does she file her taxes? Has bank accounts? Has insurance here? Has a place?
Yes, she has a bank account. She has insurance here, and but I mean, since it was last April that she got her green card, so. I mean, are we supposed to pay taxes for last year, 2024?
Yes. I mean, even if it is a zero tax return, the obligation to file a tax return doesn't go away. The CPA won't say this to you, but it has to be done. Right?
Oh.
Okay. Yeah. So I would tell you that we have to kind of make sure that we are aware of all parents' obligations before they travel, because if there is anytime the visit turns abroad, meaning going to India, turns out to be a bit longer, that there is good reason that they would bring them back, be able to come back.
Okay, so that's a little problem because our tax date has already gone and I have not even extended tax submit. So I'll have to talk to my CPA, I guess, what to do about this, right?
If there was zero taxes, I don't think there should be anything. I mean, whenever I would say that this is something that you have to make sure that there is enough contacts and residence to be shown here in the U.S. for someone to travel, and then so they can't be visiting the U.S. and living abroad more. But if you're living in the U.S. and you're residents, then you have to show that you have the residence kind of requirements being met. There's a legal obligation for all green card holders to file their taxes. I mean, that's even if it is a zero tax, it's a requirement.
Okay, I got it.
You don't want that anomaly to end up getting them into trouble.
Okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah. Okay, that's great. And so I think I'm good with my answer. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, all the best.
Thank you so much for your call. Once again, we are with Ms. Pallavi Ahluwalia of the Ahluwalia Law Offices answering your immigration questions. Number to the studio here is 214-817-3333. Let's go ahead and take our next caller on air. Radio Caravan, you're on the air. What is your question, please?
Thank you. Good evening, Pallavi ji. The question, I'm a citizen, and it's a regular question about the people entering United States. There is a legal limit of $10,000 that they can declare and bring officially. So is it per passenger or for the family?
And I'll have to cross-check that once. It is an individual, but if you're traveling as a family, right, then it would cover everyone. So now, here's something that I can tell you. It's not that you can't bring in more money, but you have to declare it. There's an obligation to declare that. Did we lose our caller?
he should be.
No, I'm in there. I'm listening. Yeah.
Yeah. So there is, so we have to kind of make sure that you declare it, but otherwise, if you're traveling as a group, then you're held to the $10,000 requirement. If you're coming in individually, it's just per individual.
Okay.
All right.
I could not find any clarity about the family split of that individual amount versus the group, even because the tickets are individually bought and they're traveling in the same flight, but technically, yeah, that's a group, but they're on their own pretty much.
Yeah, and I would say that there is not usually a limit, right? So if you are carrying something that is over $10,000, and if you're talking about it per person, so I mean, usually whenever there is, if you're traveling with a family, the combined, say for example, you're 3 people, right, and you have $30,000 together, correct? Then you have to declare it together to the government. But if you're an individual and you have 10,000, I mean, this is just the way it's set up. CBP will require, I understand the individual tickets, but if you're traveling as a family, then you're still held to that 10K. And if you're traveling individually, you're still held to the 10K. So if you're traveling, so say for example, everyone carries $7,000, right? And the total amount is for 3 people, 21K. You have to declare that, even though no single individual is carrying more than 10K. So this family traveling together as a group has just a different requirement.
Makes sense. Thank you so much. Appreciate that.
And just also, you could check into, I mean, whenever anybody is about to come, there is a form that has to be filled in, which is a financial form, right? And CBP will make you fill that out, right? So that's all that's required. It's not like you're going to have, if somebody's coming in collectively with more money, that they'll have a particularly hard time. It's just that they have to fill that in. But in today's world with CBP a bit triggered, I mean, I'll say just take note from whatever you're hearing. However, this is allowed. I mean, declaring the money and bringing it in a bit over the 10K is allowed.
Yeah, and the declaration should be in the customs.
To the CBP.
Through the CBP, correct. And at the U.S. border only. That's where you declare.
Correct. When you're coming in, if your family as a whole is carrying, again, like I said, more than 10K, then you have to talk to CBP about it.
Makes sense. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much for your call. Once again, the number to the studio here is 214-817-3333. We are with Ms. Pallavi Ahluwalia of the Ahluwalia Law Offices answering your immigration questions right now. Give us a call if you do have any immigration question that you would like to ask. 214-817-3333. That is 214-817-3333. Give us a call. We are heading towards a break in about 5 more minutes here. And then Pallavi ji is with us till about 6 o'clock this evening answering your immigration questions. 214-817-3333, the number to the studio here. Let's go ahead and take our next caller on. Radio Caravan, you're on the air. What is your question, please?
Hi, my name is Anand, and I have not traveled out of U.S. since 2016, and I have received my green card in 2020. I would like to know will there be any issue if I travel now because of all the ongoing scrutinization, and also is there any requirement that I need to go and register when I have a GC?
So I'm not understanding. So you are a green card holder, but you're saying that are there any obligations proactively on your part to, and for what purpose? I mean, you're a green card holder as long as there are no criminal activities or no issues, you're fine. There is nothing to fingerprint, nothing else to be done for you. But is this question beyond that? Is there something else that
no.
you have here?
Yeah, I live here. I mean, no issue in anything. So I'm very pretty much clean and no issues. So this was, I was just thinking, just in case if I need to be aware of anything that I may have missed.
Yeah, nothing at this point. Just stay clear of any trouble, right? And as you are just maintaining your status here, that's all there is. I mean, nothing more that would impact you. But anyway, anybody that has had any issues that has involved assault or family violence, anything like this, I'm not particularly addressing you, but just addressing the community. But they are green card holders. They may have trouble, right? And either a pickup and then putting you into deportation proceedings, or just attempting to deport you without due process. So the due process is entitled to those people. But this is something out there for even that impacts green card holders. But say, for example, there are tickets involved, or small tickets here or there, things like that. No, that will not impact green card holders.
Understood. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Of course, all the best.
Thank you so much for your call there. Once again, the number to the studio here is 214-817-3333 for all of your immigration questions. We are with Ms. Pallavi Ahluwalia of the Ahluwalia Law Offices answering your questions right now, and she's with us till about 6 o'clock this evening. So you can definitely give us a call and get your immigration questions answered. 214-817-3333 is the number to the studio. Pallavi ji, we have less than about 2 more minutes left till the commercial break. So don't want to take a chance of taking a caller here. For the rest of you, of course, please do give us a call if you do have an immigration question. We'll take your calls right after the break. But we do have 2 minutes. So any other immigration update that you would like to provide?
So we tell everyone to stay abreast with our blogs. They are pretty informative as well as, they are timely. So we're talking about the blogs that you see on ahluwalialaw.com. Just click on the blogs and you'll get updates and, you'll find advice there. So this is just to say that, but also be aware of what USCIS announcements are, things that are going on. We've had a bunch of students that have shown up here that had minor issues in the past, but that ended up with their CVIS terminated, which has, thanks to litigation, been reactivated for right now while litigation is going on. So don't just think that if you get an adverse immigration issue happening that it cannot be litigated. There is litigation options as well, and I would advise you all to deploy that. So if I'm out of the 2 minutes, we can come and talk more about it.
Absolutely. We're going to take a short commercial break, and then when we come back, we'll talk more about this and, of course, take more calls here from our listeners. Thank you, Pallaviji.
All right. Sounds great.
Thank you. For the rest of you, of course, if you do have immigration questions, definitely give us a call, 214-817-3333. Pallaviji will join us right after a short commercial break. That's coming up for you. Okay, thank you. All right, Radio Caravan, you're on the air. What is your question, please?
Hey, thanks for having my call. My mom is a U.S. citizen, and she filed for her brother back in 2011 for the green card. And we got the approval notice last week, but in approval notice it says, we didn't specify whether this application needs to be processed consular processing or within the states. So my question is, do I need to take any actions right now, or whenever the date becomes current, I can mention those things?
Yes. Yeah, so no, it is a choice that you have to make by filling in the form, because if you don't have it sent to the consulate and you were silent on it, then when the dates get current, the consulate will not be able to issue fee bills, and you'll go to scratch to file an 824 form, right? So you have to, I'll have to read that notice to tell you what may have happened or could have happened, and you'll have to pull up your I-130 as well. But it wasn't mentioned, and you have to take action on an approved case, which is by filing the 824 form and letting the government know to send it to the consulate.
So is there a filing fees for that, or it's a kind of
yes,
acknowledgement?
Yeah.
Okay.
No,
okay.
It's not. Everything has a filing fee, correct?
Yeah, that's true. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much for your call. Let's take our next caller on Radio Caravan. You're on the air. Go ahead with your question, please. Hello.
Yeah, hi. My question is that I'm on H4 EAD, and my husband and his H1 visa, and my H4 visa was filed together for extension in February in premium. But his was approved in just 7 days, and mine has not been approved yet. I've just got the receipt. And because of my passport expiry, my I-94 was shorter than my actual date. So my actual expiry date for H4 EAD and H4 is May 3rd. But my passport expired on March 22nd. So, and post that, I applied for renewal of my H4 EAD. So my question is that, will I be eligible for auto extension for H4 EAD or not? I still have my card valid and H4 stamped visa valid, and my husband has received his extension.
So when you applied for that extension, did you apply it before your I-94 expired or no?
Not.
Okay, so after that, so you're going to get a judgment or decision from them. That's going to be a little bit of a disappointment. They will deny it if it was not based on a solid I-94. But if you say that you have a valid visa on your old passport, correct, and a new passport now in your hand, and an EAD, I would advise travel and re-entry as long as your stay within the U.S. for out of status was under 180 days. Okay?
Yeah, so so to understand it clearly that I will not be eligible for auto extension. Is that right?
Correct. No, and you could be eligible for it if you were to enter with a valid I-94 that at least underlies the length of your time for the EAD's period. So also let's just also understand there was a rule that allowed premium processing for applications that were coupled together, right? So H1, H4, EAD, and that was Edakuni. Okay, there was a rule that was made by litigation, right? That expired on in January. Now, even despite its expiration, for some cases we do see that the government does extend it. But in your case, you have a different issue. Your issue is that your extension was not based in a valid underlying I-94, which needs to be the basis of extending status. So kindly, I don't know whether an attorney...
the H4 extension was filed before my I-94 expired. I was talking about the H4 EAD. That was filed later.
Okay, so it is just the EAD that was filed later. Yeah, so
correct.
And the EAD, as long as there is an H4 I-94 that is available to you, which is underlying, your EAD extension can only be used in that scenario, right? So my advice, again, you said you do have a valid visa, right?
Right, till only 3rd May.
Okay, so that's not too long. Yeah, so your H4 has to be approved with a valid I-94 for your EAD extension to allow you work without the EAD in your hand. So
I got it.
If the underlying EAD is not valid, it will not allow you to use the pending 765 receipt as work proof.
Okay, ma'am. I have another follow-up question on that. That if I get my, I don't get H4 on time, and I get my H4 later approved, will I still get the auto extension or not?
So whenever you, so the moment your underlying the I-94 is extended by your H4 extension, then yes, you can use the proof of your pending EAD along with that I-94 to qualify for the I-9 compliance for companies.
Okay, so you're saying that once I get because I'm planning to go to India for stamping, and so once I get back, my I-94 would be approved, and of course H4 would also become valid. So, and then I can submit again.
Pending your 765, correct, I would do that.
Okay. So I just have to resend just the proofs to the same address where I sent my application, H4EAD extension application.
Correct. And I would also want to know, so you did file your EAD as well? When you file for your...
Yes, ma'am. Because we filed it together in premiums, I was continued to stay on hope that I will get my H4 quickly approved, and post that I will file for my H4 EAD extension. But since I didn't get that, so I just filed on maybe 10 days back my H4 EAD extension.
Okay. And you didn't concurrently file it in the premium processing unit, you said, right?
Sorry?
You did not file it concurrently in the premium processing unit.
Yeah, I really didn't.
You file your EAD. Yeah, so the right approach would have been to either file it all together and then wait for the 1 month or 2 weeks or 3 weeks to give them time to see if they, on a discretionary basis, would approve it all, right? Failing this, at this point, then you have to just wait on... and actually, even if you were to wait a couple of more weeks and see if you get a response from the premium processing unit along with your husband's case, then you can use that pending 765 as your proof.
Okay, my husband's is already approved, as I mentioned. He's got
I
approval just in 7 days.
Yeah,
but I'm still waiting.
Yeah, and that usually does take, if they are doing it on a discretionary basis, it still takes some time, and it may be a few weeks before you hear from them. But I would give this one a chance before you abandon this as well and then go for stamping.
Sorry, I didn't get the last part. You're saying that even if I do get approval, I should go for stamping in order to get that I-94 corrected?
No, I said the opposite of that. I said since you have something filed in the premium processing on the H4, give it a shot before you travel. Wait for a few weeks to see if they do approve it, even a bit later or behind your husband. It's okay. Wait for a couple of weeks and then try. If it doesn't come through, then go.
Okay. And I'm working right now, so I would have to stop. That goes without saying that I would have to stop at 3rd May.
Correct.
Okay. And can I go on, leave without pay or furlough and come back and join? Would that be legal?
If you are on paused as to not going to work or not working, you're fine. But you can't say that I won't be paid, but I can continue to work. So you're forbidden to work, whatever the monetary amount is.
Okay, understood. All right.
Thank you. Thank you so much for your call. Right now, let's go ahead and take our next caller on Radio Caravan. You're on the air. What is your question, please?
Hey, hi. I have a question. Can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead, please.
Yeah.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah, my question is, see, if my wife's H4 EAD is expired, and I want to apply for it now. What I heard is there is 540 days of grace period. So if I apply for her H4 EAD now, can she immediately start working, or I will have to wait for an approval?
No, if it's a first-time one, then you have to wait for an approval. That's only applicable to extensions that have valid underlying I-94s around them.
So we went outside the country, and her I-94 is now till 2027. So in that case, is it still okay?
Was she a beneficiary before? Was she applied for before? Is this an extension?
An extension, right.
And is it being applied while the first one is still valid? Or has it been not valid for a while?
No, for a while.
How long?
Almost
you have
8.
To be able to call this.
It expired in May 2024.
Okay, since then she hasn't had this?
She did not.
The only way it would qualify is if it is that it was filed while your EAD was still valid.
Not filed while her EAD was valid. It was not.
And that is always going to be a little bit of an issue because it's not clearly stated as to how to obtain the automatic extension, right? So there is the category. Yeah. As long as you can mark the 765 as an extension, I think you should be able to qualify for that. There may be an error if they were to find out, right, that it was lapsed before. The she's going to be C26 category, correct?
Yes, that's right.
Yeah. I think the benefit of this that they are trying to give to everyone of the extension is almost kind of going against whatever they've put out there, right? Yeah.
We have about a minute left to the show.
Yeah, I mean, I can only see, I think this may require a little bit more of an exploration. I would send you to the I-9 resources if you have to do this yourself also. But I would consult with an attorney and look through this completely.
Okay, got it. Sure. So it's not a clear-cut black and white type of answer then?
No, it is
yes
not.
Or no?
It's not.
Okay, got it. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. And that brings us to the end of time here. We have just about a minute left. Pallavi, I want to thank you for, sparing time for our listeners this evening and answering their questions so wonderfully.
Of course, my pleasure. Glad to be here. I'm going to tell everyone that I know that we do get a lot of questions on the alien registration requirement. I'm still getting them, though I think it's just kind of taken a foot just about 10, 11 days back, 12 days back. But we do have a blog that talks about alien registration requirement, right, and everything foreign nationals need to know. And it's an FAQ, so I would tell people to peruse that once to find clarity if you're looking for some information about ARR.
Absolutely. And once again, that is yourdesilawyer.com. Click on the blog section of the page and you'll get all the details there. Pallavi, thank you so much for your time. Thank you.
Of course, my pleasure.
All right. With that, we are taking a short commercial break. I'll be right back for you guys. Keep listening to Radio Caravan.